The prosecutor's office has launched a two-team official investigation into a memo leak from the presidential office. The Seoul city government is looking to raise city bus and subway fares by roughly 25% in early 2015. It may also adopt a monthly pass and offer early morning and late night discounts. And many cosmetic surgery customers are finding themselves disappointed by the results, but exaggerated advertisements are outside the reach of government regulation.
Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm Luke Clary. The prosecutor's office has launched an official investigation into a memo leak from the presidential office. Two separate investigative teams will try to determine the authenticity of the memo and how it was leaked in the first place.
The prosecution's investigation will be divided into two departments. Criminal Division 1 of the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office will be in charge of the case petitioned by the presidential secretaries. They have claimed that they were defamed by the newspaper 세계일보's report of false facts. The team specializes in defamation suits and has investigated or is investigating 3 other cases involving President Park's former top aide, Chung Yun-hye. The investigators will focus on whether the memo's content is true, how the document was written on whose order, and whether it was really Mr. Park, an ex-청와대 administrative officer, who wrote it. Investigation into how the document was leaked will be overseen by Special Investigation Division 2. This division usually handles corruption cases of high-ranking public officials or large conglomerates. The key is figuring out how the internal document was leaked out of 청와대 and delivered to 세계일보. Depending on the probe results, the investigation could expand to find out whether any other documents were leaked as well. The prosecutor's office explained that 2 teams were formed because the case has gained extensive public attention and there are too many allegations to investigate. The prosecutors plan to call for questioning 6 plaintiffs, including a presidential secretary and Mr. Park, who has been banned from leaving the country.
President Park Geun-hye says the leak of a document regarding her former senior aide, Chung Yun-hye, was an unacceptable act of national shame. She's ordered the authorities to investigate the leak itself, as well as its contents, to put the brakes on the rumor mill.
3 days after a document on her former senior aide Chung Yun-hye was leaked, President Park Geun-hye announced her stance. In a meeting with her senior aides on Monday, Park said that leaking presidential office documents was a nationally deplorable act.
문건을 외부로 유출한 것도 어떤 의도인지 모르지만 결코 있을 수 없는 국기문란 행위입니다. 이런 공직기강의 문란도 반드시 바로 잡아야 할 적폐 중 하나입니다.
The president stressed that the speculations about interference in state affairs by her confidants, including Chung Yun-hye, were groundless. She also took issue with the way the press had been covering the matter.
관련자들에게 확인조차 하지 않은 채 비선인이 숨은 실세가 있는 것 같이 보도를 하면서 의혹이 있는 것 같이 몰아가고 있는 자체가 문제라고 생각합니다.
The president has ordered prosecutors to closely investigate how the document was leaked and whether or not its contents were true.
누구든지 부적절한 처신이 확인될 경우에는 지휘 고하를 막론하고 일벌백계로 조치할 것입니다.
The president vowed to hold responsible those who leaked the document if there had been any malicious intent.
It's been confirmed that the city government of Seoul is looking to raise city bus and subway fares by roughly 25% in early 2015. The fare hike is designed to reduce deficits for these transportation means. To ease financial burden on commuters, the city will adopt a monthly pass for the first time and discounts for early morning and late night riders.
This is a pass for the Japanese subway system. It allows an unlimited number of rides within a set period.
通勤するときに安いし、毎朝お金を払わなくても乗れるから便利で。
The Seoul metropolitan government, currently pushing for a transit fare hike, has decided to introduce a similar pass system. A Seoul City source said that the pass is likely to be priced lower than the nearly $40 it costs for a commuter taking public transportation twice daily for about 20 days a month. The fare is projected to increase by 25%, or between 23 and 27 cents per ride. The city of Seoul has long been negotiating with the central government for a fare hike since the city buses and subways have been incurring losses of hundreds of millions of dollars annually. In order to relieve some of the burden on bus and subway riders, the city will adopt a time-based discount program. Fares will be lowered considerably for the late night and early morning hours when more low-income people tend to use public transportation. The new fare structure will be announced next month at the earliest.
It's been almost a year since the high-ranking North Korean official Jang Song-taek was executed. Experts on North Korea say the regime is still doing whatever it can to erase traces of Jang's influence, publicly executing his allies.
In late February of 2014, about 2 months after Jang Song-taek's execution, Kim Jong-un convened a high-profile meeting of Workers' Party officials for the first time in 10 years. The North Korean leader proceeded to criticize people close to Jang as modern-day heretics and turncoats.
당의 유일적 용도 체계에 도전한 분파 행위는 바로 사상의 변질로부터 시작되며
Sources say Kim clandestinely ordered the party leadership to eliminate everyone who was close to Jang Song-taek, his so-called shadow. The Institute for National Security Strategy, an affiliate of the National Intelligence Service, says that the removal of Jang Song-taek's vestiges is still a work in progress. In September of this year, 20 high-ranking North Korean politicians were executed, and some 10 more from the Kanggun Military School were executed by firing squad in October as well. Sources say recently several politicians and public security officials were either demoted or executed for drinking problems.
장성택 여독 청산이라고 하면서 이제 정말 엄청난 그런 내부적으로 권력층에 대한 어떤 숙청이라든가 이것이 지금까지 계속 진행되고 있다는.
Experts appear to be split on whether Kim Jong-un's terror regime, which now marks its third year, will further strengthen his power grip or undermine it.
A growing number of people are deciding to undergo cosmetic surgery, tempted by the advertisements plastered all over the subway trains, buses, and even cyberspace. But the problem is that although many of these ads are false or exaggerated claims, they're outside the reaches of government regulation.
This woman in her 20s went to the dentist and received double jaw surgery last May. She decided to have the operation after seeing an advertisement claiming to use transparent and dissolvable pins to secure the facial bones. However, she learned right after the surgery that the doctors had not used the transparent pins, but those made out of metal, and that she needed additional surgery.
수술이 끝나고 나니까 금속핀을 썼다고 당당하게 아무렇지도 않게 얘기를 하니까 저 너무 황당하고 화가 나고 어이가 없더라고요.
A survey by the Korea Consumer Agency found that 32% of 1,000 people who received plastic surgery over the past 3 years were unsatisfied with the outcome of their procedure because of complications. Many of the patients chose hospitals based on the advertisements they saw in buses and subway trains. The trouble is that the ads in subways, buses, and even mobile and social networking services are outside the regulatory scope of preliminary reviews for medical advertising.
심의 대상 제외 광고도 이 규제 안으로 들어올 수 있게끔 보다 광고 규제를 보다 좀 철저히 해줄 것을 관련 당국에 건의할 예정입니다.
The Korea Consumer Agency advises that consumers not be seduced by exaggerated claims on ads, and teenagers be especially cautious about undergoing plastic surgery.
After a 6-month renovation, the Seoul Zoo has held its first dolphin show. But despite a new name and those renovations, the show is still being criticized for animal abuse.
A dolphin presentation is being staged in front of an audience for the first time in 6 months. The audience can learn about dolphin varieties, their size, and other characteristics. They are also told a story about Chedori the dolphin, who was released into the ocean after spending some time at the Seoul Zoo.
돌고래를 보니까 재밌었어요.
But not much has changed from the way the show was held in the past. The zookeepers make the dolphins leap and twirl by sending them signals. In fact, the reason for suspending dolphin presentations in the first place was the renovation of facilities, which had little to do with the animals.
일단 안전을 위해서 저희가 시설 공사를 했어요. 이롭다, 해롭다라고 판단하기에는 조금 애매한 부분이 있어요.
Animal rights activists say that many dolphins are still suffering in small aquariums.
시민들의 의식은 변화하고 있는데 대기업이라든지 이런 쇼 업체에서는 더 많은 고래들을 수입을 하고 있는 상황입니다.
The controversy over dolphin shows is unlikely to subside anytime soon. Animal rights activists point out that dolphins are highly active and social animals that can fall ill or even die when confined to small aquariums and fed dead fish.
There have been reports about drones or artificial organs that were printed out from 3D printers as the machines continuously improve. The state-of-the-art printing technology is also useful for artists and designers. Here's the story.
A simple, minimalist dress. An eye-catching dress and a hat that are based on an eagle. All the clothes and accessories were produced by 3D printers. 3D printers were used to imprint the patterns and designs on a plastic material similar to synthetic fabric. The cutting-edge printing technology is so sophisticated that it can even produce meshy or lacy textures.
색다른 것 같아요. 원래 가구 같은 걸로만 생각하고 있었는데 실제 입을 수 있게 옷으로 만드니까.
Using 3D printers has become common for making small accessories like necklaces and bracelets, since it's convenient and coloring the items are light work.
디자이너들의 창조적인 어떠한 디자인도 쉽게 이 기계를 통해서 할 수 있다는 거고, 그리고 그게 브랜드화되고.
Sculptors have to make models before beginning to sculpt. But now, 3D printers allow them to skip the process of modeling and produce sculptures right away.
현실감이 없었던 거를 만질 수도 있고 그다음 변형도 가능하기 때문에 예술가가 원하는 형태로 구현하는 데 굉장히 좋은 장점을 가지고 있다고 볼 수 있습니다.
3D printers are broadening the horizons for artists and designers.
Radio and television. The border between these two different media outlets is starting to blur. Want to see what we mean? Here's the story.
다들 갖고 있는 스마트폰 하나도 싫다시는 우리 엄마. 더 늦기 전에 인생을 즐기면서.
This message is about an overly thrifty mother. It sounds like a radio show addressing messages from listeners. But actually, it is a radio-style TV program which deals with viewers' stories instead of flashy visuals.
내가 가지고 있던 그러니까 고민을 다른 사람들한테 얘기하면서 그게 어떤 문제점이 있고 그런 것도 같이 공감할 수 있다는 거죠.
This is a radio studio where a live show is underway.
결혼한 지는 얼마나 되셨어요?
이제 4개월 됐습니다.
신혼부부시네.
The host's interview with a newly married couple is aired online. In the early days of visual radio, only the hosts were shown to the public. But now, listeners are sometimes invited to the studio as with a TV talk show. Cameras are closely monitored to produce the best shots.
영상 콘텐츠를 많이 소비하는 시대다 보니까 기존에 존재하던 보이는 라디오 방식에서 더 나아가서 그냥 새로운 영상에 자막을 입힌다든지 아니면 영상을 좀 압축적으로 편집을 해서
The breakdown of boundaries between radio and TV is paving the way for production of more varied and enjoyable broadcast content.
Root vegetables such as lotus and burdock roots are in season when the gap between morning and daytime temperatures is at its widest. Here is more on the multiple health properties of lotus and burdock roots.
Burdock roots are known to be quite long because they stretch down as much as possible to reach water in the soil. Their length surpasses 2 meters.
우리나라에서 지금 우엉은 총 2기작으로 재배되고 있는데요. 봄에 파종해서 가을에 수확하는 우엉이 제일 맛있고요.
In Korean cuisine, burdock roots are usually cooked by slicing them and boiling them down in soy sauce. They're also added to the cellophane noodle dish japchae, along with other vegetables.
필수 아미노산인 알진이 함유되어 있어서 그 성장기, 그러니까 아이들에게 좋고요. 이눌린이라는 당질 성분은 우엉에 독특한 맛을 내는데 이 성분은 신장의 기능을 도와서 이뇨작용을 촉진합니다.
Another nutritious root vegetable is the lotus root. Lotus roots are harvested in mid-October. In fact, they're not roots, but stems that grow in the soil. While burdock roots are solid and thin, lotus roots are round and have numerous holes inside. Lotus roots that are long and thick are regarded to be of good quality. If you cut a fresh lotus root in half, you'll see a sticky liquid inside.
액체 성분은 뮤신이라고 하는 그 당단백질 성분인데 위벽을 보호하는 기능 외에도 니코틴을 포함하는 여러 가지 독소의 그 해독 작용에도 도움을 줄 수 있습니다.
Lotus roots fried over medium heat taste especially good. Even children like their crunchy texture and savory taste. Lotus and burdock roots can also be enjoyed as tea. First, wash the roots, slice them thinly, and dry in a food dehydrator for about 3 hours at 60 degrees Celsius. Or you can dry them in the sun during the day and fry them for about 10 minutes without burning them. Burdock tea is known for its excellent property to lower body heat, while lotus root tea is known to keep the body warm.
비타민 C가 풍부하고 소화를 도와주고 위염에도 좋으니 가정에서 차로 타드시면 도움이 될 것 같습니다. 우엉은 열량이 낮고 섬유질이 많아서 변비와 다이어트에 좋고요.
Burdock and lotus roots can also be used to make simple desserts. First, thinly slice the roots, rinse them in water, and boil them along with some vinegar and rice water. This way you can soften the astringent taste and enhance the color. Strain the roots when they become soft and mix with sugar and starch syrup at the ratio of 1:1. Then boil them down over low heat. When the roots become translucent, add some honey and boil for 5 minutes. Then let it cool. When the temperatures outside plunge to sub-zero levels, lotus and burdock roots can help you stay warm and healthy during the winter.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.